Before you start to use the pump, you check about the screw. Check the screw and make sure the screw is tied properly. This one check every time, because sometimes when the pump was working with the seeking, the screw may release, so double check it. Another is check the pump tube, make sure inside is clean. If it's not clean, you can take the tube out. Take the tube out and wipe it with clean cloth. Then the rotator, do the same and make sure it's clean. Then you insert the tube, close the pump hand, and you can start to use. Every time make sure the tube is clean and the rotator is clean. And when your tube using sometimes longer, you need to check the quality of the tube. The most important is from here to here. You can see we are install an adapter here. This is for easy to change the tube, because outside tube is not a problem. It's only liquid pass through, so the life will be much longer. But the internal part here, since it's always rotating, so life will be affected.
You can refer the mechanism as in this chart.
This life is based on the materials.
You can refer the life of the tube as in this chart.
Now for testing, we are use a silicone tube, but you cannot use a silicone tube if you have corrosive liquid pass through. The tube you select must be based on the materials. You make sure the tube can afford the material you applied. In your system, we choose a Tigon A16G tube for you. That tube can afford chemicals that you are going to using. And outside, we have choose a Witten tube. Why we are not choosing Witten tube here? Because Witten tube can afford high corrosive chemicals like bromide. But if it's not really that high, if other tube can afford it, we will not choose Witten. Witten, compared with other tube, the disadvantage is its shorter life. So we are using outside with a Witten tube, and the one pass through the pump, we choose Tigon A16G for you. This A16G is with much longer life, but you still need to double check about the quality of the tube. After some time use, you need to make sure the tube is really affordable for your every batch. Then, if it's not affordable, you need to change your tube. When you change your tube, you revise all the liquid back to your storage bottle, and you can take the tube out and replace into a new tube. And the tube life is related with the rotating speed. So, if it's allowed it, you can choose a wider tube with a smaller rotating speed. Then the life of the tube is much longer. In here, we recommend you to use 50 RPM.
You can refer the relationship between the flow rate and the tube diameter as in this chart.
We selected number 25 tube for you. Number 25 tube is allowed the flow rate to be controlled from 0.17 to 170 milliliter per minute. So if you would like the tube to be last longer, you can use the maximum flow rate to be 85 milliliter per minute. And another thing, that this pump is not designed for anti-explosion, so the system should be used in common environment. You cannot use it in high explosion condition, so pay attention. And when you use corrosive chemicals, toxic chemicals, poisons, you You must wear necessary PPEs, follow the requirement of your safety. And the final is you put the power supply of the pump close to your operation, and when anything emergency happen, you can switch off the power immediately. When you start to use the system, first you need to connect your pump into your system. In your case, you will have a storage bottle, a pump, and your electrolysis reactor to be connected together. When you have your storage bottle, you will use a temperature control to heat it up to your target temperature. During today testing, we use a storage bottle that is not being heated, that you can see what happened inside the system. So first you need to connect a tube that from the most bottom of the storage bottle to the first pump hand. Then after that, it will enter the liquid in of your electrolysis reactor, going through the electrolysis reactor out, then going to the second pump hand. We're using double pump hand to control the identical flow rate of the in and out. Then you can maintain the liquid level constant based on the beginning ending. So when you use your electrolysis reactor, you have to end the solution into your target level at the most beginning after you finish the connection. At this moment, after pass through the liquid out, the liquid will flow back to the storage bottle. This is a way finish the connection of the pump with your system. To start the application, first you need to turn on the power from the bank. Then the system will start to work. At this moment, you can see we have a unit here is in milliliter per minute. This pump is allowed. We have 2 units to be working. First is milliliter per minute. Second is RPM. If you would like to apply RPM, you can click this into A0, and you click confirm to enter. A01 is for milliliter per minute. You can select it. A00 is for RPM. In our case, milliliter per minute is perfect for us, so we choose A01 as our setting. Now we click confirm to finish the setting. After that, we choose ESC to finish the setting of the unit. So we choose milliliter per minute as our unit during application. And after we finish setting, we can start to use now. At this moment, this value is based on your experimental design. You can set any by rotating this button, clockwise for increase, anti-clockwise for decrease. At this moment, you can start to use. Turn on the button to let the system rotating by clockwise or anti-clockwise. This time, at this moment, the liquid will flow from based on our connection from the system into the system out. You got the liquid dropping back to the storage bottle. At this moment, the liquid level will maintain constant as our first ending. And another thing is at the beginning, this tube will be got bubble inside, so you can let the liquid to flow somewhere to remove all the bubbles. If you find the system was got accuracy error, you can do the calibration. How to do the calibration? You need to do the calibration under the unit of milliliter per minute. And this moment, you can stop your thumb. Then you click this button and choose A2 for calibration setting to go in enter. Confirm to select A200 for our pump. Then choose A21 to check the tube. Our tube size is 25. It is not your tube size. You can rotate it to change the tube based on the internal setting. And 25 is our size, so we click to confirm the setting. Then we can confirm all the setting to exist. the sanding, we finish the sanding, and do ESC to confirm the sanding. Then it's ready for us to do the calibration. Before we do the calibration, we may need to make sure there's no bubble inside the tube. At this moment, we select one value. This value is need to be close to your application value, or exactly the value that you are going to apply during your experiment. For example, we will use 14.6 as our application value. Then we will sand it, or slightly higher or lower. For example, 4.6 is also okay. You send it, then you click to confirm the value to be your calibrate value. At this moment, you click to choose E0, to enter the calibration, and click to confirm to enter the calibration. Then your calibrated value is 4.6. At this moment, you can turn on the pump. It start to counting time within 1 minute. During this 1 minute, the liquid need to be all collected into one container. For example, testing tube or a beaker, because this liquid you need to be fully collected, used for calibration. How to calibrate? You can measure 1 milliliter of your target liquid, then to check about how high the weight. Then based on that weight, you can get the density of your liquid. After you finish the collection of this liquid, you can use that density and the total weight with this collected liquid to get the real volume of your target liquid. At this moment, the balance must be very high accuracy, maybe at least can be accurated into 0.1 milligram. Then that balance can be used to calibrate this pump. And of course, you need to make sure your balance is being calibrated with high accuracy. At this moment, you can stop the pump. Then this value is the real volume of your calibrated volume. You can key in the real value by rotating and decrease its value to your real calibrated value. After that, you confirm your calibrated value and click ESC to going out. I will do the calibration together with you when we are conduct our training. If you have any problem, you can contact with us. And during the application, if you want the liquid to be reversed back to your reactor, you can let it rotate anti-clockwise. At this moment, it's anti-clockwise. It will reverse all the liquid back to your storage. And you can stop it. And if you want the liquid to be reversed or pumped to somewhere faster, during the run status, you can click this button to let it run full. And this time, the liquid will reverse or charging into the system in very high speed, the maximum speed that it will use. This you will use to easy your work when you plan to reverse all the liquid back to your storage, or you need to clean the system to change the tube. Then you can do the full working. This is how to use the connection and system. After you finish the reaction, you can turn off to stop the pump first, and you turn off the button from the bank, then the system will switch off. At this moment, you can do the cleaning and wiping all the things to make sure there's no liquid was out